Today we're going to be talking about the Travis Funke case. This is the case in Indiana where Mr. Funke is accused of manslaughter for the death of his girlfriend and the mother of his 4-year-old child. His girlfriend, Kelly Armstrong, she disappeared mysteriously a few years ago. No body was ever found, and Mr. Funke made a jailhouse confession where he said that he dreamed that he smashed her head in with a hammer. Ms. Armstrong's family has been very active in this case. They have been raising money. They have a website. I encourage you to go check out their website, all about their daughter, the victim in this case, and trying to get justice for her and for her young son. Today we have with us Mr. Robert Sheahen. He is a Los Angeles criminal defense lawyer, and he is here to talk about the plea in the Funke case, which was first given to Mr. Funke earlier this month and was just this week withdrawn at the request of the victim's family. Mr. Sheahen, is that unusual?
It's extremely unusual. 90% of the cases in this country are decided by plea bargain. Plea bargaining is so essential to our system of justice. You cannot extend a plea offer and withdraw it. It can't be done. The system doesn't work that way. You cannot decide what a case is worth and then have a victim's family come running in and tell you you're not doing your job. That is not the way prosecutors work. A prosecutor has to be good for his or her word. A prosecutor has to be bound by it. If I'm a defense lawyer and the prosecutor says this is what the case is worth, I may have to spend a month convincing my client that this is the best offer, that this is in his best interest to take this. And once he does, once he relies on the word, whether it be of the state of California or the great state of Indiana, whatever it is, that person's got to be able to rely on their word. And for the prosecutor to come in and rescind the offer because, oh, the victim's family said rescind is nonsense.
Now, I want to clarify, in this case, Mr. Funke had agreed to plead guilty to the voluntary manslaughter of Kelly Armstrong. That was the exact charge that the Howard County prosecutor had charged him with, this voluntary manslaughter charge. So he isn't getting any kind of a deal. He's not getting a reduction of any kind. All he's saying is that I will plead guilty in exchange for not going to trial. And I don't understand what happened. What happened that now all of a sudden, how can the prosecutors charge him with something? Can they charge him with a different crime? Can they recharge the case? Where do we go from here?
Apparently, if I understand the Indiana situation, the dispute arises out of child custody problems. There's a 4-year-old boy involved. Under any plea agreement, the accused is going to spend the next, I believe it's 17 years in jail or some number like that. He's not going to be there in the child's formative years. He's not going to be there for the high school graduation. He might be there for the college graduation. And why are they fighting over custody? Well, apparently the one set of grandparents want to keep the boy from the other set of grandparents. And to take on a case of this magnitude in a grandparents' battle, to me, it's just nonsense. The criminal justice system should have no part of this. None.
So you're saying that there's a family law component that has somehow gotten mixed up in this case?
Absolutely. That's what they're talking about, is that under the plea as it was offered to the defendant, it would allow his parents to have partial custody of the child growing up for the next 17 years, and it would allow those parents to bring the boy to see the dad in prison for those 17 years. I personally, being a father, I personally think that boys should have fathers even if the fathers are in the penitentiary.
But in this case, if in fact Mr. Funke is pleading guilty to killing the child's mother, are the grandparents, are the maternal grandparents, are Ms. Armstrong's parents, are they in the wrong for wanting to keep the child away from the person who caused the mother to not be in his life anymore?
You're using the wrong forum. You should not be using the criminal law system. You should not be using the criminal courts for this. If those grandparents have a legitimate complaint against the other grandparents, let them go to family law court. Keep this stuff out of our courts.
As the Funke case develops, we will be on top of it at Wild About Trial. Go ahead, download our app, buy the Funke Trial, and we will keep you updated on whether there's a new plea agreement and what Mr. Funke decides to do about that.